Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? Today officially we begin the eclipse season, the last eclipse season of this year. From 25th till 8th November is when it goes on. This eclipse season is going to bring in a lot of transformations in all our lives because the solar eclipse is happening in the house of Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about transformations, death and rebirth, and huge amount of energy shifts. Today I have a very special message for all the black sheeps, the perceived black sheeps of the collective. Because when you're thinking about yourself in your mind, you're a star. You're not thinking of yourself as a black sheep. That is just a perspective that other people have towards you. And I want to give some information and bring in some clarity about it today. You're basically the different one in your family, in your friend circle, even in your workplace. Even from your childhood days, maybe you were bullied, you were ostracized, or people did not include you too much just because you were a little different, although you're doing completely fine for yourself. It's time now for you to understand why have you been like this all this while? Why have you been so different? There is a reason for that. You're one of the firsts in your family. A lot of you have been the first ones to come out of the closet, to have forged a completely new path for yourself in your profession, or someone who has made a lot of money through an online business or something through trading, maybe something which in your family no one has done and no one could even think of doing. In spite of a lot of pressure, a lot of fear, a lot of bullying, maybe you still have been able to come out. You have still been able to go forward, and applause for that. And you have to keep going ahead now. This is not it. Your journey has just begun. It's just the beginning. Some of you have had a very tough life with a lot of life lessons of all kinds of life lessons, like about family, work, relationships, financial, whether you're coming from a poor background or a rich background, irrespective of that. You've had these personal struggles, these spiritual battles, dark night of the soul, constant transformation, constant death and rebirth in a cycle, and here you are. If you resonate with being called a black sheep and fall into this category, if you see yourself in this category, then my dear beloved, I want to tell you that you are a chosen one. You are the chosen one in your lineage, in your bloodline, in your ancestry. You have been chosen by the divine, by your ancestors, for a very big task. You have been chosen to break ancestral curses, generational patterns in your family, like breaking shackles of very limiting thought processes, limiting mindsets, beliefs, because of which they have not been able to fulfill their life. Our parents' generation, they were coming from the survival mode where they had to really work hard and where they didn't have a lot of freedom. They followed what other people did because they wanted that safety net, and they were not able to fulfill their dreams, nothing. And in that generation, when somebody tried to be different, somebody tried to break a certain pattern, they were completely considered crazy and ostracized. So breaking a pattern and rising from there was very, very difficult for those people, for that generation. But in our generation, we still have a lot of freedom. It's the internet generation, so we know what's going on in the farthest point of the world, and we can educate ourselves with that. In general, we have more freedom in this generation, in this era. Freedom about sexual preferences, professional preferences, lifestyle choices. We're actually very blessed to be in this time. A lot of stuff is possible in this time, and which is why all the chosen ones are coming together right now. They're awakening each other by telling their own story. Because right now is the time. This is the time when things can happen. It wasn't possible back then. It was very difficult. Right now, we can do it more easily.